Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian as a Weirdo. So today I'm going to keep going on my makeup adventure, trying to get better at makeup, or decent-ish again. So I'm just gonna play around and have fun and try to do the kind of stuff that I used to do when I was playing around with makeup. Today is very not serious, very like it could end up tragically, but that was kind of the fun of makeup at the time, was that you could try something so outrageous and it might work, it might not. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna turn on some music, let's chat, and we can maybe make something cool, maybe make something that looks terrible. Who knows? So let me turn on a little bit of music. Okay, so I'm not gonna focus on my face today. I don't really want to wear a lot of face makeup. No reason to. It's gonna be a lot of focus on the eyes, maybe the cheeks. If I go onto the cheeks, we might have to put a little bit on the face because I don't really like how a lot of like blushes and things go on when you don't have anything on. It just changes the way that basically when you start to put stuff on the face and even on the eyes, you want to kind of make sure that you're working on like um, a surface that you're not going to have maybe like an oily patch here and a drier patch here because it'll change the distribution of pigment on the skin. So I'm just going to have fun. I have this one distinct look in my mind that I did when I was younger that I might try to do something similar to when I now. And I'll kind of like talk through what I did then and just like why it was like so important to me. So I think I've used this same primer, not this jar because I've gone through many of them, but like this brand for a really long time, the NYX HD primer. Pretty much as soon as I found it, I was like, this is my perfect primer. It works on so many people. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Um, and um, it just was really nice for helping keep shadow on my lids because I cannot wear eyeshadow without primer. It's not possible for me. Even if I put other stuff like powder my lids or like whatever with like translucent powder, it's not gonna stay on. I'm one of those people who needs primer because I have small eyes and like they're like a little hooded, but it's more so that they're just small and things just are gonna crease because if I look like I have my eyes open at all, then game over. So I'm gonna do things a little bit differently than how I did back then, but I'm gonna go for the same kind of effect because I remember just being like, I don't care if I look good. I just wanted to have fun, and that was really the goal. So um, I'm gonna take a light, like orange color, and like bring it straight out. Did not bring my primer out here, probably should have, but that's okay. Now, when I was growing up and getting into makeup, a lot of my makeup came from what my mom had, and my mom had a lot of neutrals, but then there were like a lot of like Physicians Formula, that brand that, gave pretty much the most color options. Oh my gosh, this is so uneven. When at the drugstore. Now there's way more options that have like bright colors and stuff like that, but then it was not very not like that. So I remember one day my mom was trying to find blush, and we were at maybe Sephora or something. It had to be Sephora. I don't know what else she would have been from. And my mom, the person who helped us out, I was with my mom, um, was like my mom has my same skin tone, so pinks don't work on us. And my mom had kind of expressed that like pink was pretty much ruining her life when it came to blush. And putting a bolder orange. I'm going to use a different brush because I do want to pack it on a little bit more. That was kind of how I did makeup. So this, the person who helped us at Sephora got it. They were like, not going to try to put my mom in a pink or anything. And they took this bright orange, it's been discontinued since, bright orange NARS blush. And they're like, you can use this on your eyes, you can use this on your cheeks. Like, this orange is going to make a huge difference. They're like, use it with light hand. My mom's not as fair as I am because she actually goes out in the sun, or, outside. But, she still had to use like a light hand. She couldn't just go buck wild. And so this bright orange color, and that's what my mom ended up buying, and it was a game changer. And then my mom stopped wearing it because my mom kind of has a heavy hand with makeup, and that's okay. It's just kind of her nature. But me, on the other hand, I was like, this is my color, so I took it as any young aspiring makeup artist does, I suppose. And then I wore it all the time. I wore it as eyeshadow. I went bonkers with the idea of this like bright orange because it just really suited my skin tone and it was so vibrant and so pigmented. We didn't. There was so long of a time where finding a really pigmented blush was very difficult because it was so white centric, where everything had this like white base to it, so it always kind of powdered out into this kind of like oblivion, which even makeup now is still like in those popular stores, they're still catching up on not having a white base and having it look good on lighter skin tones and darker skin tones. And I'm not like, that's the problem that I will forever have, because when I was doing makeup on darker skin tones, I was like, well, I have this like 32 color blush palette. It has all these colors. Like, oh, well, it's not 32 colors. Maybe it's 24. And it gave me so many options for clients. And this was in my makeup kit forever. And so like this color, like barely has a white base, but it has like a little bit of one. So like basically these were my two only options for people of color, like any kind of color. Everything else is just powder, some brand of white base. And actually this color was actually pretty decent. It was like a mauve color, but so I had this like nice, it was cheap, but it was like this broad range. And then all of them didn't work on these darker skin tones. So having them there was like super, super nice. But I took this and I would wear it on my eyes because I was like big into like the alternative goth, emo, punk, like that was like all I wore. So I just kind of went for it, and I didn't care if I looked like a clown. I didn't care if I looked like a mess. I just kind of wanted to have fun and do makeup. And I remember also there was this brand, what was it called? Prestige in the drugstores. And they occasionally would have some really fun like liners and stuff like that. And they had this one that was like bright, it wasn't bright green, but it was like an emerald green. And I would do like these like lines like up into like through the orange. And it's just crazy. It was like, what were you doing? But it was so fun. and I never was bored with my makeup, and I just had fun. And again, it wasn't about trying to look any kind of way. The closest color I have to it now, actually, this is almost the exact same color, and this is from MAC back in the day. This is MAC Minted lip, eyeliner. So oh, that's really not straight. Okay. Okay, we're not going to make them even, then we're going to make them not even on both sides. So I would just go and do really whatever I wanted with these colors, and that was so fun for me. This line just kind of got chopped up on my skin a little bit because I'm not great. And then just like stupid shit. Like all of the makeup rules, I was just like, I don't care about any rules. I'm just gonna do what is fun and gives me like color and like vibrancy and do like weird stuff. Something that I have always stuck to though is doing eyeliner because my eyes are so small. I really need eyeliner to like open them up. Which you might be like, you are, you have small eyes and you're gonna put black on them to open them up. But like I said yesterday, when done in the best way for my eyes, really does open them up quite a bit. Because otherwise it looks like my eyes are closed all the time. Like every picture. I've never, well, when I started, I did not do a thick eyeliner that I felt like some people did at the time, but I just knew that my eyes could not handle all that black without just being like weighed down and like, oh my gosh. I like how this tone really complements this breakout that I have right here. So it's actually really, really thin, but it looks much bigger. And I'm using a paintbrush that has like a nice ergonomic handle. I used to do an angled liner brush. It was always a lot harder to get my line even then, but now that I use this type of brush, it's way easier. But practice still makes perfect. And even if, even though I've practiced a lot, I still definitely don't get perfect very often because makeup's hard sometimes. And I like to use different mirrors and things because it helps me get things even, look at things from a different perspective. Like when I was trying to do the green line on this side, like I used to do it straight up and down. I used to do it over my pupil and I used to do it straight up and down, kind of looking like Scarf from Lion King. But I just was having fun. It didn't matter, right? No, I feel like I should do something different because this is actually like not that outrageous especially not for what I used to do. I'm gonna take that light orange that I started things with, and I'm gonna start to kind of blow out the edges of the shape that I have now. Not below the wing, because that's gonna, something I like to do now that I didn't do until years later was start to take makeup up into this area, like this kind of it's not hollowed out, but like the area between my inner corner and my eyebrow. I love adding color there. I just feel like it gives a really cool shape. Even when I do drag makeup, I'll take it from my artificial brow spot, and it just, to me, creates this really nice depth, and also it reinforces any nose contour that you might do. And I actually like to do that sometimes instead of any nose contour, because it kind of does it for you in a way that's not as like, you know, lines and stripes on your nose, because I just don't love the way that looks most of the time. So now I'm going to take an orange liner. So this is City of Flashing Lights. I think this was ColourPop or something. It's just called City of Flashing Lights. Is that the brand? Orange Crush. I think I just found an orange liner, because if it's an odd color eyeliner, I kind of love it. I think it's ColourPop, but I don't know. It says Pride or Rude. No, it says Rude. Gotta make sure it's nice and soft, but like it's very pigmented. I need it to be soft when I start to go in my waterline. And that actually closes up the eye quite a bit, but that's okay, because we're gonna just plan. Who cares, right? And so I might do something. I usually stuck to mattes for the most part, unless it was with pencil or something, because I just liked the way that looked a lot better. I also did like the craziest lip colors I could find, which often weren't that crazy, but I would often do like vampy reds, and if I could find a black or a purple, I would do that, or an orange. Like for me, like focusing on makeup that was geared towards people of color actually was my that favorite thing, because there was more pigment. There was it was just it was just it was exactly what I was looking for. So like all of the like white centric makeup, I was like, this is all powdery and white based and not pigmented. And then I was looking for like actual pigment, and those are the brands that I used to shop with. So like what was it? Was it like Black Opal? And um, like all of those brands that I was like, yes, 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 like those are the colors that I want, because I really wanted to have something that was like, I don't really like this over my brow, but I like it up to my brow. I'm gonna take a green now. Yeah, Prestige. So this is a Prestige pencil, just for example. So this is a blue one. I mean, I've had this for like 20 years, and like look how vibrant it is still, and it's still soft enough. So, and then Urban Decay did a good job. They weren't in drugstores, obviously, but MAC did a good job at having like brighter colors, but still, I just found that I just wasn't always getting that payoff that I wanted. Sometimes I did. There was this one single shadow called eye popping that was like, oh my gosh, I should find that and put it on. I don't wear it often, mostly because I don't really keep track of my eyeshadow singles anymore. Because they're very cumbersome. They take a lot of room in your makeup thing, and I'm scared to death to depot it. I'm not good at depotting shadows. Okay, that's purple. So it's not in here. So I'll show you the color that replaced it. So eye popping used to be like pea soup green, right? And so they took it off the market because I guess people weren't buying it enough. It was just matte pea soup green. And so this is Lucky Green. And it's close-ish, but very shimmery. But still, it just wasn't what I wanted. But I'm gonna take this brush. I'm not gonna use that one. And I'm gonna take this shimmer green and use it as like a brow highlight because who gives a fuck? But I'm also not gonna go above where my natural brow would be. So I'm not gonna go like up into here. I miss the days when like MAC was like MAC at its prime was so fun. MAC still serves out the occasional goodie, but when there's so much on the market, it's a really hard time to justify paying MAC prices when they're just not doing as much innovation as I feel like they used. I feel like they rested on their laurels for so long that they kind of fell behind. And now it's like, can they make up from that? I don't know. So I did green up here and then green in here. So I have this kind of like diagonal clown vibe, but it's not giving like straight clown. Okay, I don't know what that means, but hopefully someone can figure out what that means. Okay, so I'm gonna take that same green pencil from MAC, and I'm gonna try to continue this line, which is gonna be a little bit challenging, especially because I went straight down with orange, but whatever. And just started a little bit because you can always adjust it when it's smaller than when it's a lot larger. Okay, so we're just going full clown, I guess. But this is how I used to do my makeup and then go to school. Like high school, like this is the kind of thing that I would turn up in. And like, I didn't give a shit. Still kind of don't, but you know, I mean, I'm not going to school anymore. But, I guess the closest thing to eye popping that I have now would be like some kind of mixture between these two colors. Like this is it's super powdery. It's pretty close, but if you put the next color, and then if I mix the two, like that is the color that would. Now I'm like, why have I never tried this before? But it was amazing. It was so good. And then I discontinued it, and I was like, you bitches. So I did not overdraw my lips. I tried many times because that was a huge thing. But like when I was younger, but I could not. I didn't know how to do it. I always ended up having like too wide of a mouth, and it just looked really weird. So I just did a regular lip. But I would do like a crazy color, or I would do something very, um, let's see, I think I might have a brown lipstick. Now, lipstick was always really hard for me because lipstick was really, it would just, would come off of my tiny little lips so fast. Okay. So, I'm going to use one of my yellow liners. This one's from ColourPop, yeah. It took me so long to learn how to line my lips. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a hard part for me because my lips are uneven. It was just really hard to do. Now, the idea of having a green lipstick available was totally out of, um, that was that was not even a possibility. Like, if you look at like pre-sugar pill times, like that's when I was doing makeup, and I was doing makeup as sugar pill came out, but I couldn't afford the sugar pill prices, so I couldn't really get in on that, unfortunately. And then now this is from, who are you from? This is from Lime Crime. Post when they Lime Crime was also another thing that brand that came out around that time that I was doing makeup. But I just figured it out with eyeshadows and mixing them with lip glosses and or putting them over existing like sticky lipsticks. So I would do like yellow lip liner and then green lips because then it would, no matter how weird the green was on my skin tone, because some greens don't work. This green surprisingly, actually it usually doesn't work, but it really works with this yellow. Was really fun. So, but I also have this like Fenty green that someone gave me because it really looked bad on them, but it really looks bad on me too. So I have the Fenty green. What is this one called? Turks and Caicos, but it's just kind of like, it's not a great green. I like the idea of having a green lipstick, but it's really hard to get right. I have a lot of green lipsticks because I always want them to wear. They usually don't. But this is the type of makeup that I used to wear and used to have so much fun with. Just doing something totally outrageous and fun, and just like this was my daily makeup. Not daily. I would switch it up and do something completely different. It was just like, here's a color, and I'm gonna. It was very similar to now when you see people who are like do the color wheel thing, and they're like, okay, what's the color of my foundation? And they do a random color picker, and then they pick a color, and that's the color of the foundation. Well, I didn't do colored foundation, but um, they like where they use like the colored pencils, but like when I did my eyeshadow, it was like, okay, like I kind of want to do, I just would kind of like pick a color and then I'd be like, I want to place it here. And so there weren't really any rules about like where I placed things or how I did things or anything like that. It made things a lot more fun, and the more spontaneous and creative it felt, the better it felt. So this is the type of makeup I would have worn actually to high school. Not every day because I didn't always have time because I often overslept. Or I would just bring a huge makeup kit. I literally have the makeup kit that I had in school. Was it this one? I think it was this one. So I used to bring this specific caboodles. I brought this to all my gigs. all my wedding makeup that I did. I brought this to high school. I didn't want something that was like plastic and like looked like I wanted something that looked professional because I knew that I wanted to do makeup. So I like literally like it still has a caboodles thing on it. So um, and it's lasted me all this time. It's been super reliable. So yeah, so I waited for like a nicer one and then was like, that's it. So with this, I probably wouldn't have put any blush on. I didn't use a lot of facial products because a lot of facial products just didn't sit well on my skin. Still have a hard time finding that now, so not surprising. Although it was much drier then, so it wasn't the acne. It was dry and it was flaky and just like blah. But like eyes, lips, always done if I was going to do any makeup. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back in what an hour and a half to do 100 Nights of